Stars collide, you could take me back, we could burn so bright.
Hi, this is Will Holland, and this is an exclusive interview for Trancefix.
You haven't been fair, so I broke my promise while you were in tears. What happened between us was just as you feared. Is this all that's left when you leave me in tears? Across the night is a space for us. Could we fall again if the stars align? Could we turn it back? Could we start again? Start again. Start
I was always into music from a young age, and I was a DJ from about 15 years old. I came into trance probably about 16, 17 when it was really kicking off in the UK, about 98. And then I got into producing as well. And as well as this, I met lots of producers online that were sending me their own demos. And I was signed to one label, and I was sending their demos over to this label, and so I was signing some of the releases and putting them out. And they said to me, do you want to run your own label for us? And so obviously I snapped up the opportunity to do so. And came up with Enhanced Recordings. It was kind of like a serious hobby, if you like. It wasn't something I ever thought would ever become, you know, my full-time job, because the way the music industry was going, it was difficult to make money with releases. Vinyl was stopping, distributors were closing down, so it was very difficult. But it just snowballed, it just took off, and here we are six years later, and it's my full-time thing. We employ staff, and I'm very happy where it's gone. I'm the main guy behind the label, so I kind of do the day-to-day stuff in terms of the direction of what we're doing, overseeing all the music, the promotion, the marketing, looking after the artists. But as well as this, I have two guys that work for me. They do a lot of the online promotion, they do a lot of the marketing for me, anti-piracy, all those kind of things. Some of the more boring jobs. And then with our sub-labels as well, we have separate A&Rs. So for example, on Always Alive Recordings, you have Daniel Candy and Philip Alpha. And on Air Up There Recordings, obviously it's Tritonal. And it's great to work with these guys because they've got their own idea about music. You learn a lot from them in terms of the sound they like, and I think all the different labels add something different to Enhanced, which is what we wanted. We wanted to appeal to a large spectrum of people that are into trance music and deliver kind of not a one-stop shop for music, but just, you know, if you're into trance, you know, no matter what kind of trance it is, there's something at Enhanced for you. It's a lot of hard work. We work all day, we work all night sometimes. You know, you start early, you work all through, because it's an international business at the end of the day, because artists from all over the world, different time zones. Tritonal, for example, don't get up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and so if I want to speak to them, it can be very late in the day by the time we do. As well as this, trying to produce, DJ, for example, if you go away on weekends, it's just juggling everything and trying to handle the whole lot. As well as this, we have an artist agency which is run by myself and two other guys. We work closely with the likes of people from Enhanced, Daniel Candy, Estiva. As well as this, we have people like John Askew, John W. Fleming, Tidy, and many others. It's something that's really blossomed over last year. So really, it's kind of juggling the whole lot and making sure I can give out work to people who can kind of take things off my hands as well. In terms of my spare time, I like to watch football, I like to play sport, I like to watch movies, go out, I like to cook, so I just try to juggle things around and do what I can, and I'm happy, so it's good. The The biggest change was definitely going full-time on the label, which happened a couple of years ago. Before that I was kind of fitting in and around my other jobs. I used to work for Gatecrasher in Sheffield and Leeds, running their events, so it could have been student stuff as well as obviously the massive trance events I used to have. People like Armin van Buuren, Above and Beyond, Ferry Tayle, all those kind of guys, and as well as this we had bookings of the likes of Eric Murillo and Roger Sanchez in the house scene as well. Well, I went to university to study event management. That was something I was also very keen on, and that's obviously why I went on to work for places like Gatecrasher and running the other events around the UK. So if it wasn't music, it would be music-based events, I guess. It's something I'm still very passionate about, and luckily we get to do the same kind of thing. I'm quite involved with Digital Society in Leeds, as well as obviously the enhanced tour nights we do. So I've still got my I still get my event fix, if you like, as well as visiting the events to DJ and see our guys play. 2008 was definitely a breakthrough year for us. We had some big releases, and suddenly we started to get great support from all the DJs. I think it was just a case of people getting used to our sound, or the artist, and then the label. And if you saw the promo, if you're a big DJ, you go, oh, it's enhanced, I like the last track, I'm going to play this one. We had some big stuff. Our artists such as Ferry Tayle and Estiva and Temple One really all kind of started to blossom at that time. Well, if you're talking about the main label, which we're obviously celebrating 100 releases, Enhanced Recordings, it's always been melodic and uplifting. Its music really moves you, it's happy, it's just great music, I think. In terms of our whole sound, I think across all the Enhanced labels, it's always been very melodic. Trance is obviously a melodic-based music, but there's different genres of in trance, and I think if you listen to any Enhanced track, it's always got that killer melody or great groove or really warm, lush chords that really pull at you. Good music, I think. Starting sub-labels is something I never intended on doing. I just thought, we've got Enhanced Recordings, Enhanced Progressive, they kind of catered for both the kind of sounds of trance that I liked. But I think as I got older, I'm more into trance, I guess. I kind of realised there were other sounds I really liked, and it's quite difficult to put a range and a spectrum of different music on one label. So the best way to do that was obviously to start up different labels, which could cater for those sounds and cater for different artists, which is something I was very keen on doing. So the first label we started as a sub-label was Digital Society Recordings. We did that to kind of help promote the brand of the club night Digital Society, which I'm resident at in the UK. As well as this, we were doing CD releases, and it's something that's worked well for us because it really kind of puts a brand out on an international stage. As well as this, there are some of my artists which were keen on setting up their own labels, and I think they've got a great sound in the likes of Tritonal and Daniel Candy. You really can't fault the productions they do, and they've got a great ear for music, and over the years they've actually sent me music from other artists saying you should check this out, you should sign this, and so it kind of went full circle in the fact that I was, initially I was the guy that was sending these tracks to a label, and they said to me, do you want to run a label? And I did the same thing with these guys, and it's definitely paid off because they really add quality and value to Enhanced. We're just starting a new label called Colorize, and it's basically to cater for the progressive house sound. It's still going to be very melodic. On Enhanced Progressive over the years, we've had the odd kind of release or remix that's really been that kind of sound, and it's something we have a big passion for. And Chris, who's one of the main guys that works for me at Enhanced, it's something he's very, very passionate about, and so we want to cater for that sound. So we've got Shot doing the first release, as well as some other fantastic artists coming up. CDs are definitely dying out. There's no way you can, argue that fact. It's, they will eventually go. People want music instant. They want it in their iPod. They want it on their computer. So, eventually they will go. But we're passionate about releasing CDs. There's something great about having a tangible physical product in your hand, and people like to collect them at the end of the day. And I've got hundreds, probably thousands of CDs that I bought over years, and it's something we'll continue to do because the Enhanced fan base really like to have the CDs. It's great when, for example, Tritonal's album, they got it hand-signed by the guys. That's really something you collect, and, if it's a great piece of music, like their album is, you know, in 5, 10, 20 years time, you still got it, you know, and it's, I think that's nice. So for now we're going to carry on doing them. Thank you. Well, we just don't want to release anything unless we think it's the best quality it is. If I wouldn't play it in a set, if I didn't think it was of a high enough standard, then we simply just wouldn't release it. We get sent 2, 3, sometimes 400 demos a week. It's ridiculous how many demos we get. It's not a bad thing, it's a great thing. But people just need to work on their sound, and just, you've got to ask yourself a question: is it going to be something that people look back in a couple of years and think that was a great record? And it's something we're very careful about. I think that's one reason why Enhanced has become successful. It's a good reason at the end of the day, because it's quality music, and people will buy into a brand that delivers quality music with quality artists. Always focus on your quality. Don't send something in that's half done. Make sure it's finished to a standard you think is good enough for release. Make sure the melody really stands out. Make sure that it's something that doesn't sound like something else you've heard 1,000 times before. Really try and make your track stand out. I think trance is really evolving at the moment, and the production standard is getting better and better and better. But some of the tracks today compared to just 5 years ago, they sound light years apart. It's ridiculous. So just make sure your sound is current and high quality. And it just has to have something to stand out, to make it different from everything else that's out there. It's definitely the time management aspect. For example, we're filming this on a weekend, and by Monday morning I'll have 150, maybe more emails in my inbox, which I'll have to respond to. So Monday, as well as juggling that with the new releases we've got out, promoting it, making sure the marketing's happening, doing everything we can to make sure the release is successful, I'll have to do all those emails, and there's dealing with my artists, there's all the boring stuff. Definitely time management.
Did it hurt you? These are the scars you've never shown.
I don't think it's a bad thing at the end of the day, because if you can get the music out there, and if the artist can be better off in terms of the money they're earning from it because it's on a bigger label, then I don't particularly see it as a bad thing. As long as the label can stay true to its own sound and deliver quality music, I think it's good. You hear lots of horror stories about labels, and labels come and go, these small labels, so maybe it's better for some labels to have a big daddy looking after them, perhaps. It was an amazing success, and it was something that we worked hard to kind of think about what would really get our fans interactive with us, because we've always been very personal with our fans, and I think that's a nice touch. And we wanted them to vote for us basically and tell us which tracks they really liked. I think the only thing I'd say about the vote that maybe was a slight downside to it was the fact that Enhanced over the last couple of years has become very popular, and I think a lot of our fan base has really come in over the last couple of years. So the CD on the actual classics disc is mostly made up of tracks which are from the last few years. So you could say that there are a few personal classics of mine that didn't make it onto the CD, but at the end of the day, for the majority of people that buy the CD, that's what they want to hear. So that's what we've given them. And we some of our other releases from enhanced recordings from over the years, and we've you know, I think those remixes are great, and they've you know, given new life to some of the tracks. You know, some fantastic remixes on there that really kind of open people's eyes to some of our older releases, and we've seen that in sales because people have now gone back to, you know, releases that came out years ago that they never even heard of, and they've now bought the original as well. So, you know, it's good. It's been a good success. If you go off the top 100 vote, then it's definitely Daniel Candy's remix of Trapeze from Ferry Tayle and Static Blue. Massive release, huge track, you can't deny that. I think it was Armin van Buuren's Tune of the Week on A State of Trance. It went to #1 on Beatport. It was a huge release for us. We're quite fortunate that, you know, it's not just been enhanced recordings that's had big successes. We've had #1s on Beatport on the likes of their recordings, as well as enhanced progressive as well. Obviously the stuff from Arty, tritonal. You know, it's good to see all the labels doing well. Yes, quite a few. There's a lot of things people kind of ask me about, you know, why didn't you sign this track, or what you turned that track down, you know why, kind of thing. And sometimes it's just about whether the sound is right for the label. The track might be brilliant, but if it doesn't work and it's not our sound, then I've had to turn it down. And there's been some huge producers which I've turned down over the years, and I've seen the tracks do amazingly well. I think there's probably one or two that I might regret, but most of them, you know, I think we've stayed true to what it is we do, and I think I was right to do it. Well, when I was first DJing, when I was about 15, I was, you know, really kind of getting into the trance sound, and I used to listen to Radio 1 to the Essential Mix, and even to people like Judge Jules, who was fantastic. You know, I used to love his show. It was a great way to hear the new records and so on. People that really kind of first made me get into the music was, you know, definitely the kind of Sasha, Paul Oakenfold, Paul Van Dyke. They were the guys on the radio all the time, so I was, you know, really into kind of anything from kind of progressive house through to trance, but it became more and more trance. I got into people like Scott Bond and Guy Ornadell, and people I was just seeing in clubs. When I was 18, I used to go out every weekend. You know, we were fortunate in the UK, the club scene was absolutely booming, and so, you know, one night you could be seeing Armin van Buuren, the next night it could be Paul Van Dyke, a week after that it'd be Oakenfold, a week after that it'd be Tiesto. It was ridiculous. You know, it was fantastic. I think Armin van Buuren's been a massive influence for me over the years. It's fantastic to see him support the label so well. The same goes for Above and Beyond. You know, I'm so pleased that they support our tracks. It's just fantastic, and it's, you know, it's nice to see the guys that inspired you to get into the music, you know, playing your tracks. It's brilliant. My main focus is the label and making sure that, you know, we're doing as good a job as we can. I'm still very keen on producing and DJing, but it's just a question of time management and fitting it all in. I love to DJ and I love to produce, so nothing's going to change. I'm carrying doing what I'm doing. I'm playing tonight. Can't wait to do it, so, you know, I'm just going to carry on doing what we're doing. Well, obviously it's a busy time of the year after the summer. Loads of releases coming out every week. As well as this, we've got some new compilations. We've got Amsterdam Enhanced, which is mixed by Noran and Rad and Juventa, who are two trance acts which are just incredibly hot at the moment. Really up and coming, and I think they're definitely two of the guys, well, three of the guys to look out for in the future. So we're doing that compilation with them. It comes out middle of October. As well as this, we've got Estiva's Perfect 10, which was another fan vote compilation. He's remixed I Feel Fine. It's a great mix as well, so we've got those two. As well as this, we're working on Tritonal's remixed album with some huge names. That's coming out beginning of next year. As well as some other big stuff I can't quite tell you about yet, but you know, it's busy. Thank you very much for watching this interview here on Trancefix. I've been Will Holland. Cheers.